Hey,
There he is.
all right, let me get this right. This is a terrible angle. This is really bad. Hang on.
That's cool, man.
So I have to use my girlfriend's work computer because Zoom has decided to not work for me. Hang on, that's bad. I need to be like here. Yeah, I have to use my girlfriend's work computer because Zoom is just
Yeah,
like
I saw it
straight.
coming out of Madison. Like, Madison?
Yeah. All right, that's on. Here we go. Let's keep trying. We're gonna get this right at some point. I am a producer. I can figure this out. Right? Too high. Yeah, her computer camera
Is it under the bottom?
is in the bottom. So it's like there's no. Yeah, she warned me. She was like, "Yeah, you could use it, but like you're gonna look really fucking dumb." All right. Okay. Why would they put a
It
fucking?
doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. I'm gonna look like I'm looking in the wrong. Are we already recording? I hope we're already recording.
We
I
are
can
already
see the
recording, yeah.
Good. So I already look like the best producer in the world because I can't even get
To be
Zoom
frank,
work.
the actual posters in the back look good too. So
Good. That's
so
what
maybe
matters.
that's a positive thing about the angle.
Yeah, that's what matters.
Yeah.
So
How you been, man?
I'm good. How have you guys been?
I've been good. It's a crazy times, but I think we're doing okay compared to a lot of people.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like every time I think about the fact that I'm not working as regularly as I was, or some of the movies that I was working on had to get shut down. I think about the fact that like there's people that have it like way worse than me, and so
Right.
like at the end of the day, like I'm for some reason I'm fortunate enough to be able to like make like entertainment, for a living. So yeah, it could be way worse. I'm not very vital. I don't think I'm a vital cog in the machine of America. So like I think I'm okay with my phone not ringing for a bit.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, people that don't know who you are?
Yeah. So my name is Brandon Lescure. I am a Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore. I like to say that I'm a Baltimore film producer. I'm also a screenwriter and a script consultant professionally. I've been producing films for a number of years now. I've probably got like 15 attached to my name, 15 like films or television pilots. I've got like 5 more actually on the kind of the burner right now. And then also aside from that, I produce commercials and like really boring corporate videos because that's what keeps the lights on. But yeah, and I'm a screenwriter. I know I met you guys with like my directorial and like screenwriting debut back in 2016, the Back Page. I met you guys out on the film festival circuit with that, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, but so like I still write. Recently I've been settling into consulting, which has been I think really valuable for me as like a screenwriter because I get to read all these scripts, but then I also it's valuable as the producer because I get to read all of these scripts and like look at it from a producer's angle and like what are people writing about and what's out there in the world. So yeah.
Nice.
Talk about what some of your roles as a producer is.
Okay. So a lot of people ask the question like what is a producer? What does a producer do? And I think the short answer is like everything and nothing. I like to say that like I have very little skills actually as a person. Like I don't know how to operate a camera. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to like I really don't really know how to set up lights. I don't know I don't know how to rig things. I really hate operating sound. I know how to do that, but I hate it. That's the worst job on set, a boom operator. But I don't have any skills, but my main skill is finding people who have those skills and building a foundation so that these talented technicians and talented creatives can create something and not be and have paychecks and like have insurance and like know where they need to be when they need to be, and they're legally allowed to be there, and that we've answered all the questions before the cameras start to roll. So when people mainly ask me like what a producer does, I like to be kind about it and say like I don't really have a lot of real skills, but my main skill is finding talented people who have skills. And I think that that's what a lot of producers are. They facilitate like creative and talented people to create and be talented. And I think there's a certain skill to that. Obviously, not everyone can do this. There's a reason that some people are producers and some people are gaffers. So I think that I like to think my main role though is to just like be the kind of the problem solver, be the one that's thinking about the fire before it needs to even get put out, so that the director and the actors and the writers and just everyone else on set don't need to think about the problems. I really enjoy putting out fires before anyone even knows that they're there. So that like, oh, like, wait, the police were here? Yeah, I solved it already. You don't need to worry about it. We're good. Like, oh, wow, I didn't even know. Like, that's like a good day for me when like shit hits the fan, but it doesn't create any, like no one on set even knows about it.
Right.
So yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Problem solving, people skills, talking, that's kind of my skill set.
Do you also find money for movies?
I do. So I would say that there's like two different types of producers out there. There's producers who, my main skill set for sure is logistical problem solving. I am not as talented at like finding money, but I can. But then there are other producers out there who they're not going to be the guy that's going to be on set every day. They're not the guy that wants to kind of lead the charge on the project. They're the guy that can bring the money to the table and is going to be consulted on things, but they're not really the one that's going to be working the set every day. Like Spielberg produces like a million things, but right. Spielberg's not on set for any of those things. He's just giving money. Yeah. And obviously that's like a big picture example of that. But but then there's other producers on those sets who are actually doing on the ground, boots on the ground, like working those things, and they're equally valuable. But I would say that like that's not my skill set per se, but like I definitely can do it and have done it. But if I knew more, if I had access to more money, then I'd be making more movies. So like a lot of the movies that I've produced, the way it works is that like people come to me, and they come to like, because I work for a production company here in Baltimore, and people come to me and they say, I have a script, and I say, amazing, send that to me, and I read it and I break it down into kind of a rough shooting schedule, and then I take it from that into a rough like prelim budget. I figure out the budget, and then I bring that back to the writer or the director, whoever brought me the script, and say, look, here is my professional opinion, how long this thing is going to take to shoot and how much money we need to make it. And do you have that money? And then usually a lot of times they'll say no. And I'll say, okay, well, how can we get that money? And then sometimes they'll say, yeah, I do. So let's make it. So yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be able to work on a lot of projects that had money already. I've done a bunch of Kickstarter campaigns. I hate them. They're awful. No one
I
loves
think we
them.
all hate those.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, but then there's other projects where we've had some executive producers get involved that bring some money. So, and those are cool too.
I've seen you last year. You were reviewing movies, the ones that came with one sentence or something like that. Wouldn't you have like the movie industry pretty much shut down this last few months? Have you been able to watch anything or catch up on anything that you haven't seen in a while? And surprise you?
Yeah. It's funny that you brought up my one sentence movie reviews. Yeah, like I started that a few years ago. Just basically, like I wanted to get my opinion out there, like into the ether with like when I watch a movie. But the last thing I like I hate it when people just like post like 14 paragraphs of what they thought of a movie on Facebook. It's like, dude, I'm not reading this.
Yeah,
so
reading that.
yeah, so I'm just like, how can I get this out there and just be like, all right, one sentence movie review. I try to make them funny. I give them a grade. That's it. So yeah, I have a lot of those. So I'm actually compiling them. I think I might want to try to do something with them in the future. But so what have I watched recently? I've watched The King of Staten Island, and I hated it.
Yeah, I heard bad things about that one. I haven't seen it yet, but
Mike, have you seen that?
No, that's with the comedian there. What's his name?
Pete Davidson.
Yeah, I don't mind his humor, but I'd probably watch it alone, not with my kids. I know that dude's raunchy as fuck.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I hated that movie. And I thought it was like it was like 2.5 hours long, and they had 3 editors. Like, how do you make a comedy that's 2.5 hours long with 3 editors? Like, what did you need? Like 10 editors to get this thing down to like 90 minutes? Yeah, it was over long. It was like he was the worst thing in the movie. I loved Marissa Tomei. I loved Bill Burr.
He's not a very good actor, though. I've seen him in a couple of things. He's not really a good actor.
No.
He's not even funny. I don't think he's funny, but that's just my opinion. I tried to watch his special on Netflix a few weeks ago, and I just couldn't get into it. I watched the first like 10, 15 minutes, and I didn't laugh one bit about anything he said. I'm like, if you don't get me laughing within 15 minutes of a comedy special, why would I stick around for the whole hour? It was just really
I mean, I actually before I started doing film, I came from a stand-up comedy background. That's like what I did before I started making movies. Was I performed stand-up, and so like, yeah, I love stand-ups. I want them all to succeed. I think a lot of stand-up comics can be fantastic actors, and he's not one of them. He can't even play himself well. Like, yeah, so you know that's bad. Like, if you can't, this character was him, and he was still not great in it. So, how do you be bad at you? Like, so yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. God, what else have I seen? I watched that Ben Affleck movie, The Way Back, where he was like a drunk basketball coach. No, that one's not. That one's like that one actually hit the theaters. It was one of those movies that was in the theaters, like, and then the movies shut down like a week later.
Oh,
yeah. I actually really liked it. I thought Ben Affleck was really great in it. It's very like cliche, like basketball, like sports drama, but he was pretty fantastic. Yeah, I haven't been watching a lot.
I haven't either.
Like I went through this thing with COVID where like the first 2 weeks, all I wanted to do was sit at home and like play video games. And then I went crazy and I was just like, I'm going nuts. I need to do something. Yeah. And so I started like reading more scripts and like doing more writing and trying to get more like creative. And then since then, I haven't been able to like kind of commit to like watch a lot of movies because I kind of feel like I'm wasting this opportunity to like where I'm wasting an opportunity where I'm not working where I could actually like be creative and like write and like, you know, kind of sharpen some knives that I don't usually get to be sharpened. Because right now, this would normally be the busiest time of year for me. Like going into summer, it's usually nuts. Like usually I'm like hating my life right about now. But now I've produced I've been fortunate enough to work a little bit during COVID. We actually shot a couple things recently. And that was weird, but we were, trying to be as safe as possible and social distancing, but also like be creative. But for the most part, like I've had so much free time on my hands, and it just kind of feels odd to just like use it by like watching movies. As much as I love movies, I don't know if you could tell, but I fucking like movies.
I think if you try to do something too much, you just burn, and you just don't want to do with it. So I think it's a good idea to just, especially now that you have a lot of free time, you don't want to watch too many movies and end up not wanting to watch any for the rest of the year just because of that.
Yeah.
And I think I'm in the same boat. Like I tried to the first few weeks, I caught up on some of the shows that I didn't watch for a while, so I did that. And then once that happened, I played some video games. I played some Final Fantasy, some Witcher 3 the last few months, and then last couple months. And then I stopped for a couple of weeks. I haven't done anything. Just we're getting ready for our next film, me and Mike and Chad. So I'm doing some pre-production there, trying to get stuff going. But man, Last of Us 2 came out a couple of days ago, and I've been fucking playing it every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been up and down for me as far as that goes. Do you play? What console do you play on?
PlayStation 4 and Switch. I'm a Nintendo and a Sony guy, like 100%. I don't think I've held an Xbox controller like twice in my life. I'm like that much anti-Xbox that like I don't even I refuse to even hold the damn thing. Nice. And when I have held, I just feel like what this? Why is this so big? Like none of these buttons make sense. Like I can't do it.
Yeah. I play on the PS4 and Switch, but I have a PC too, so I game on Steam a little bit here and there. But
yeah, that's the thing with PlayStation. It's like, all right, yes, the controllers have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you go back and look at the PS1 controller, which was like, what did that come out in like 95?
Yeah.
Like it hasn't changed that much.
Yeah.
Like
well, remember they added the DualShock to it, the analog switches.
And those
are pretty much it. Yeah.
The first one was like a little thing.
Yeah, like it hasn't changed that much, and that's kind of why I'm like, all right, I've been holding this thing for 25 years. I think I can, I like this. Xbox controllers just feel foreign to me. Yeah.
Have you been playing Last of Us 2?
No. I've been playing Skyrim and Madden and Animal Crossing.
I've heard a lot of people playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Well, I should say that, my girlfriend has been playing Animal Crossing, but really what I've been doing is just fishing for her. I just go, she does all the, the fun stuff, and then I just, clock in and, fish on the island to make her money. I'm basically just an indentured servant, of course, kind of, on the island.
How's that game? Is it online or just offline?
It's online. She hangs out with friends. She hangs out. Her sister lives in Japan, so she visits her sister's island quite a bit.
And they talk.
Yeah.
Interact with each other.
Yeah. They can visit each other's island, and then there's little two of them just running around on each other's islands. So yeah, it's online. That's cool. My part's not online. I can fit. I just fish. I'm just a simple fisherman. I clock in. I do an honest day's work. I catch some perch, and then I go home.
Yeah, I've seen many of my friends playing it. I don't really like those kind of games, but it could be very stress relieving. I'm sure.
It is stress relieving, honestly, because it's just totally it's kind of just mind numbing almost, just kind of tedious work. I just got to pick up these sticks for the next hour, so I don't know why it's fun. I guess it's fun.
It has a Minecraft feel to it, doesn't it? As far as how scaled back it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't. Like I said, she creates the island. I just work there. Basically.
Yeah, I'm asking you because you would know usually.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys start an island and you need a fisherman, I'll come visit you any day. I'm very good at fishing.
We'll just fish together there.
Yeah.
That's how it is with my wife in Minecraft. She'll go out and she'll mine and do the gardening, and I'll just build houses and shit.
Yeah. So you get to do the fun thing. She's got my end on this in this analogy. Yeah. But yeah, I've been trying to like stay busy, but also like enjoy a little bit of relaxation time. It's tough, you know. What have you guys like? I heard you say that you're gearing up for some pre-production. What are you working on?
We're doing a short film that Mike actually came up with the idea of it. What was it, 2015, 2014, somewhere there?
Yeah, it was a long time.
It was a long time ago. And Chad, which is another buddy of ours that we worked together, he wrote it for a class project back then. So we were talking a few weeks ago about, you know, just doing shit like this and just talking. And he said something about that script. And I'm like, I remember you guys talking about it. Tell me about it. So he told me about the script itself and about the story and how it goes down and the characters and stuff. And I liked it. So I told him to send it over. He sent it to me. I did some refining on it, added some scenes, tidied up some loose ends in the story itself. And we did some auditions last weekend. We only have a couple more roles to fill, and we should be gearing up for shooting here in a couple months. Should be a fun, you know, go back into it. You know, it's been a while since we've done anything, and I figured this is the right time to actually get going, get working.
Yeah, I mean, I'm finding that a lot of people, I would say it's like maybe 60-40, like 40% of people are just not ready to go back to work. Yeah. And they're not ready to kind of like risk it. And then you got like 60% of people who feel like, hey, if we do this safely, like I'm ready to work again. I'm ready to like be creative again. I'm bored out of my fucking mind. I'll do anything, you know? So I feel you, man. Like, I have a couple projects that, like I said, we were in the middle of shooting and we had to like stop. So like parts of the movie are in the can, and now we just have to sit and wait until like all the parties involved are ready to work again. Which really sucks because like I'm big on momentum, and like to be able to like gain the momentum to like start shooting, and then like the momentum stops immediately, and then just try to build it back up again. I think it's going to be really hard, but we got to do it because like once you start a movie, like you really got to finish it. You got to finish it.
That energy really drops when you spend so much time away from it, doesn't it? Like, it
does. For sure, man, it does. I've always said like the easiest movie I've ever produced, in a certain sense, the easiest movie I ever produced was a movie that the writer emailed me the script and said, Brandon, here's the script. I bought a 220-year-old house. I have nothing but the house, the script, and a check. The contractors are coming in 15 days to remodel this entire house and not make it spooky anymore. We have to shoot this movie before they come. Can you do it? And I was like, yes, I can. So we had 10 days of prep, and we shot for 4 days, and the contractors came the next week.
Was it a feature or a short?
No, it's a short film.
Okay, good. Because a feature, man, that would have been...
No, yeah, it would have been crazy. Basically, like, I had 10 days to prep an entire film.
Damn.
And I've never felt that it was easier because, like, in my eyes, this is kind of what fortified my idea that momentum is so key when you're making a movie, is that, if you want to work with a really talented actor or a really talented cinematographer, and you reach out to them and say, hey, I've got this script, we've got some money. I'm probably going to shoot this like 6-7 months from now. What do you think? They're going to go like, oh yeah, I'm kind of interested. Like, let me see what's going on. Like, the money's not that good, but like, we'll see about it. But if you go to that same person and say like, hey, I can offer you very little money, but this thing shoots in 10 days. I mean, if they're free, they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bottom line, because like everyone wants to work, and 10 days is such like a tangible thing to some people. People can like physically look at their calendar and be like, yeah, probably nothing's going to come up in the next 10 days. Like I can agree to this thing that sounds fun and has no fucking money attached to it.
Yeah.
And you're going to I found that I got way more talented people involved on this project because there was no time to prep. It was just like, hey, we shoot this, like, hey, we're shooting in 4 days. Are you able to come and like gaff on this? Or like, and it would just, the ball starts rolling, and like, it's just so much easier to get that like snowball effect when like the finish line is like within sight. You know, sometimes I think when the movie's like, oh, it's like, yeah, we're going to finish this thing like next year. It's just too far off for people to like really feel like that it's real or that it's going to happen. So the easiest movie I ever produced, 10 days of prep. I mean, it was a lot of work. Like, I didn't sleep for like the entire time, but it was the easiest thing.
What's some of the budgets you see on the films you work on?
So the biggest one that I've been able to work on is 120.
Nice.
Which was really challenging. You know, I think like, you know, it had its own challenges there, but then I've produced movies for as low as like $4 or $5 grand for a short film. But all movies are the same. Like it doesn't really matter how big the budget is. I honestly think, because you know, the bigger the budget, it's just more money getting dealt out to the same departments, you know? So like, in a certain sense, it's not that much more challenging to work on a movie that's $120,000 than it is to work on a movie that's $20,000, because like, you still got people who are getting paid. You still got, you know, tasks that you need to dole out. It's just that there's just more money being dealt out. Like that movie that was 120, it was like art department was getting a lot of that money because there was so much props and so much wardrobe, and you know, and that's just kind of where it all was.
That's what dictates the actual spending of it, right? Like if it's just a rom-com or a story that doesn't have any action or any special effects or anything like that, you'll you know, it makes it better. It makes the decisions go a little bit better.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say most of the movies that I produce are in that like $35,000 to like $60,000 range.
Yeah.
You know, I'm finding that that's kind of the sweet spot right now for if you want to make like a short film that is, you know, like really, if you want to make a short film that's bigger, you know, like if you can definitely make a great short film for less money than that. But like a lot of the things that I'm getting now, it's like, you know, we really need like X, and X is going to cost like $10,000, you know? So like you need the money, you know, like I did a movie where we needed, where we needed to blow up a car. And it was just like, yeah, we had a $30,000 budget, and like $7,000 of it went to blowing up a car. So it's like just that right there to blow up the car, $7 grand.
Damn.
So, and that was, you know, so it's like, all right, that's like almost a third of our budget to one thing. So yeah.
Have you thought about moving to a bigger city to get better opportunities as far as that goes, or are you comfortable where you are?
So I actually did live in LA for a little bit of time. I hated it. Yeah, I think LA was not for me. I didn't enjoy the kind of the competitiveness of it all. I think like if you go out there and you have a job, great. But if you go out there and you're trying to get a job, it's really hard. because everyone wants to work in the industry. And I was fortunate enough to be able to find work when I was out there. But even then it doesn't stop, because like once people find out that you have work, they want to like be your friend so you can maybe get them work. Yeah. And it just became like I was just not having like no genuine conversations out there. Like anytime someone found out that I worked in the industry, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm an actor," and I'm like, "I would just prefer you drive my Uber right now, sir." Can I just like sit in the back of this car and like please relax for a minute? So I hated it. I hated that there was no seasons. There's no seasons in LA.
It's all sunny every day.
Yeah, man. I was out there and I was like talking to a friend, and I'm like, man, I really miss seasons. And he goes, well, what you should do is go over to the mall, which is called the Grove. You want to go to the Grove, and every year during the seasons, during like Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, they deck this place out with all these decorations, and it makes you feel like it's the seasons. And I'm just like, you have lived here way too long that you're a fucking lying to yourself about these decorations making you feel like it's actually. It was 100 degrees on Halloween.
Oh, jeez.
When I lived there, I hated it. So yeah, I moved back east, and no regrets there. I like being kind of a bigger fish in a small pond. I think the competition is less, and I feel like I'm thriving more out here. It's at the end of the day, it's all about like getting work. It's not really like I think like I can work both coasts, and I do, but like it's just like this is kind of where my home is. This is where all my resources are. I know a lot more crew out here.
Right. Once you establish yourself there, it's kind of hard to like just let everything go, and then.
Yeah, I mean, I can make a movie out here for probably like 60% of the cost anywhere else in the country. Like I can make a movie in Baltimore for like 60% of the cost, simply because I know the resources, I know the crew, I know how to make a movie here. Can I make a movie in Topeka, Kansas? Yeah, definitely. But like it's just going to cost a little bit more money, because like I'm going to have to throw some money at problems rather than like know a guy who knows a guy who wants to work on the movie for like a little bit less money,
Yeah. Well, now we know where to go to shoot a film for 60% of the budget. We'll come to you.
hey, Maryland has good tax breaks too. Like we're and I know how to work those systems. That's pretty Maryland's actually a really good place to shoot movies. So yeah, I would advocate it for sure. And then definitely email me. I'll produce your film for you.
Whatever we do, it has to be big, since you're 60%. You know what I mean? We got to profit off that.
Yeah, if you're, I mean, if I'm going to save you 40% of your money, you might as well go big. Hell, let's blow up 2 cars.
Are you a freelance script writer, or do you write stuff for stuff you want to produce?
I write freelance script writing and copywriting for like companies. Mm-hmm. Like when some of the clients that our production company has, like we will write for them. But most of my scripts I'm trying to write for myself to produce. My actual like narrative screenplays I write for myself.
Nice.
I have a handful that I'm working on, and a handful out there like on the film festival circuits. Just trying to build some buzz on those. Mm-hmm. I always like to say that like I'm a film producer who wishes he was a screenwriter. Like I don't like to be a film. Like no one likes to be a producer. Like every producer wants to be a director or a screenwriter.
Yeah, but we need producers. We don't have any producers around here.
Yeah, it's a necessary evil. Honestly, it is. Everyone hates the producer, but everyone needs the producer. It's like you don't know how easy like life can be for creative people until you get a producer who really believes in you and like wants to protect your vision and wants to like help you make a movie and like keep the noise away from you. So that's I think like I'm always advocating like anyone like when people send me their scripts to consult on and they say like, all right, well, how do I make this thing? The first thing I say is like, you need to find yourself a producer. Like wherever you live, Like find a producer, find someone who has made a movie before, and will help you like focus on solving problems so that it doesn't become overwhelming for you, because making a movie is really hard. And I think the biggest mistake a lot of people make is trying to produce, direct, like shoot and edit their like all their own movies. I think those are mistakes. To me, I think like rarely is a movie going to be as good if you didn't have like a team around it.
It's a collaborative effort.
It really is. Because I mean, just imagine you don't, if you're producing and directing, do you really want to deal with like you know, things like permits, or do you really want to deal with like things like sending out the call sheets and organizing the call sheets and like making sure that the food is good, making sure that, do you want to deal with that, or do you want to deal with like what this shot is going to look like and what the actors are, how the actors feel before they show up, and like, are we rehearsed? Like, that's the stuff that creative people should be focusing on. And like, I can help you block out the noise. So get a producer. Your life will be easier.
You since you're consider yourself like an independent producer, right? You're do you get paid up front usually, or is something that is included in the budget when you go? Let's say that somebody comes into you that doesn't have a budget, and they ask you to help them find a budget. How would that go about as far as your compensation itself? Do you ask it up front, or do you have to include that in the budget itself when you go to look for it?
So that's a good question. Everyone's a little different. I can say for myself, how it works is that I build myself into the budget based on a fair estimate for how much I'm going to work on a project, like how much time commitment I'm going to have on it. You know, typically, like I would say, I get paid like 10% of the budget. That's usually a fair number. Like I think that's usually where I end up standing. So like, you know, but that can vary. And then I would say that like there's other times though where producers get paid on the back end, where I've worked and I don't advocate these types of projects for producers unless you know that something is going to A, either make money, or B, either be worth it for you to like as a contacts or as a resume builder, that you understand you're not going to get paid. So I never advocate getting paid on the back end for like people who are doing independent stuff, but a lot of people do. So like they'll waive all their pay and then get paid once the movie makes money based on like percentage points of like if this film sells. Again though, I don't advocate that. I think like I have bills to pay. I like to make money. So but yeah, usually I build myself into the budget.
That is kind of a strange way to deal with the second part of it, because I'm from Morocco, and I talk to a lot of people that work in the industry there. And one of the things that it's famously done over there from producers and filmmakers there, that they make the money, they make the movie. A lot of the times they make up the budget, how much it's going to cost, and they try to cheapen it as much as they can. They don't pay the actors, don't pay the crew, and promise that when they're done with it, they'll sell it to. There's a committee back home, back in Morocco, where you can submit films to them, and if they like it, they think it's profitable, they'll buy it off you. Mm-hmm. And it's you have to be an actual filmmaker to do that. And in order to do that, they have to give you basically paperwork that says you're a filmmaker, producer, or you have to be recognized by the government itself.
Yeah.
So once you make the films, and like I said, a lot of times you don't pay the actual actors or the crew, but in the contract, basically they get paid once they get submitted, and they get basically funding from the government themselves, because they buy it from you and then they take care of distribution, all that stuff. So, and a lot of actors actually go with it. And they don't get paid until eventually the film might make money, and if it does, they'll get a cut out of it. And it's kind of a really shitty way to do it over there, just because. And I've talked to people back home that are confided in me in this, that a lot of them actually like steal money. They don't pay the people exactly what they promised, or they'll say, "Oh, we didn't get this much. This is how much we got, so you're not gonna get as much as you thought we were gonna get." And it becomes a toxic circle where nobody trusts anybody, and everybody's stealing from everybody, and it just doesn't have a healthy circle to it. You know what I mean?
Seems like it could hurt a lot of relationships.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I was gonna try to make a film back home, and I started doing some pre-work for it. I wrote about half of the scripts. I talked to some filmmakers back home, but it just became a thing where, in order to get funding for a film, you have to go through all these hoops, all these corrupt people that wouldn't budge unless they see some profit in them. And I didn't want to do it that way. I didn't want to be the person that comes in and just becomes part of the system. That, you know what I mean? It just is not a system that would work for me. I don't think it's fair to a lot of people. So I ended up taking a back seat and waiting until the right opportunity because of stuff like that. So I'm glad you said that about it, and it just reminded me of that whole it's like a scam, basically, is what that is.
Well, I mean, it's funny. I mean, trust me, that arrangement is not just a Moroccan thing. There are a lot of shiesty producers out there who skim from the budget. That's why I believe like you need to have checks and balances. You need to have someone who is also like involved in the project, who's going to look over the producer if you've never worked with someone before. Like if you're a director or a screenwriter and you give a producer $20,000 to make a movie, and then you don't look at the Excel spreadsheet and like check where all that money's going at the end, like you are really taking a risk that if you don't know the person. I always try to be transparent with everything when it comes to price, because I know that like this money's fucking real. Like a lot of it is coming from people's hard-earned like savings, or it's coming from family members who have given them 10 grand, 20 grand to make a movie, or it's coming from their retirement, fund or something. So like, I never want people to feel like, hey, Brandon hasn't checked in with the budget. Like I sent him 30 grand. Like where are we at with it? Like, no, it's gotta be up front. But I think, what you described with those actors, though, I think that's really common here in the U.S. Like, I think the saying is like actors don't get paid until they get paid. Like that's kind of like that's the way it works. It's like actors have recognized that they're never going to get paid until they get paid. Like once they get that break, then they always get paid. But until then, like, I almost think that like, though an actor gets more out of a finished film than probably anyone else.
Right.
And so that's kind of the value in actors choosing projects and getting deferred payment, which means never getting paid. Like, oh, hey, we're going to pay you $700 deferred. Like that really just means like, hey, we know, all of us know this movie's not making any money. You're never going to see that $700. But but the thing is at the end of the day, like that actor is going to get that real material, and then you build up enough of that, and then next thing you know, you're getting paid, and so yeah, I've done a lot of projects with deferred payment for actors, and like, but I've always felt that like it's on the backs of those producers to recognize, and the directors to recognize, like, hey, all of our talent is not getting paid, so we have to feed them well, We
right.
have to
Take care of them. Yeah.
We have to feed them well. We have to treat them well. We have to make sure that this schedule is not backbreaking. And we have to not ask so much of them as to make them feel that they're being like taken advantage of. But then also at the end of the day, we have to make this a good fucking movie, because like this needs to look good. This needs to like sound good, because like a lot of people are donating their time in a sense to this, and the onus is on us to deliver. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Oh man, what was I gonna say? Do you have any plans? You said you were shooting something and you stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any plans for the summer or the fall as far as shooting goes?
Summer is probably out of the question. I think like both of the projects that I was working on, I don't think that the people who are directing the projects want to get geared up for multiple reasons. One of them, it's a very big project, and you're going to need a lot of people to make what we have to shoot work. Like we need like a room full of people, and so that's hard. The other project, I think that the director he's very cautious. He's kind of one of those like hypochondriacs almost, where like he's really destroyed by this COVID thing. I don't think he's one of those guys that like hasn't left his house. And so like, and look, I'm not trying to say that COVID's not real. I'm just saying that like this guy's extra cautious, will not leave the house. So I know that movie's not getting shot until he's fully ready. I have a couple things that are oddly enough that I haven't shot yet that I'm probably going to shoot. Like in September, I'm producing a short film called Laurels, and it's about an independent filmmaker who is a little crazy, and he'll do anything to take home an award at this film festival that he attends.
Is this a biography or something?
No. Yeah, actually, no, it's definitely not. But I think so that's what that's about, and we're going to be shooting that in September. And I have a couple feature films that we're gearing up, just trying to get some funding going. Funding is tough right now. I mean, it's not even just like it's not safe to shoot. Like it's also like a lot of people lost money with the stock market crashing. You know, like people who typically would be having disposable income right now, who would be more likely to say like, yeah, man, I'll give you $25,000 to help you make this movie. Like they don't have that much money anymore to play around with. They're taking these things really serious. So like getting funding for independent films is going to be way harder.
It's going to take a couple of years to actually start back up for real.
Yeah, we're all going to have to move to Morocco and become and sign those documents. Sign those documents.
It's actually really good to go film there. Not now, obviously because of the COVID, but they have a lot of tax breaks for foreigners that come and film there. They gave them a lot of money back basically for spending money there. I said it's actually really good. That's why
I've heard this about a lot of countries, honestly. Like other countries.
It's actually been. If you notice, I'm not sure if you noticed, but a lot of movies that now that they're supposed to be filmed in Iraq or anywhere in the Middle East, they go to Morocco to film. Film it. They built a whole city. It's like a Hollywood version of the city. Like you can film anything there. They have all kinds of sets and stuff. Like it's really impressive what they're doing. So eventually, hopefully, I can go film there, but not until they fucking fix that.
Well, if you need a producer, I can't get you that 40% discount I could if you shot in Baltimore.
No, if we were to film there, I'll give you a 50% discount.
You know,
I know a lot of people there, so
good. I mean, I always say that like when people bring me scripts and I look at this and go, hey, like I know that this is set in New York City, but I can make this. We could shoot this in Baltimore and make it look like New York City. Like typically, I'm not bullshitting there. I would be bullshitting if I said we could make Morocco or make Baltimore look like Morocco. So we can't shoot that movie there. We don't have any desert in Baltimore.
Well, I don't live in the desert. I live in the city, so that you could probably work it out a little bit. you said you're something in the fall, and how long do you plan ahead? Like, do you have like stuff lined up already for next year, or something that since the COVID thing hit you?
It's tricky. Like if you had asked me this question in January, I would have been able to tell you like a bunch of like really exciting things that like are on the plate. But like you ask this question now, and it's just a lot of uncertainty. I feel like everyone is feeling that. I'm hoping it's going to get, the more that time passes, the more clarity we're going to get on situations. But right now, I think the only thing I'm going to shoot is probably in September. And then after that, it's just pre-production, trying to get things, get everything in order, and just figure out when it's going to be safe to shoot and how to make it happen financially and like logistically. So yeah, I mean, I had so many big plans this year. I was going to buy a house this year. That's not happening. Yeah, so like this year sucks. And you know what's funny is that this year I decided like I made a New Year's resolution to not get into Facebook arguments with people.
Yeah, it's
and
yeah,
like 2020 is really trying me, man. Like between like COVID deniers, and racists and like Trump supporters, like I just want to fight everyone on Facebook. 2020 is really fucking me up.
Yeah, 2020 is not a great year by any means for anybody. Yeah. I don't think any industry right now is suffering. Doesn't matter. Well, except toilet paper industry, but that's a different story.
Yeah, they're doing well. We should have gotten into that a while ago.
Yeah, or Zoom.
So like what I'm like my way of skirting around like my resolution and not get in Facebook arguments is what I do now is when I see something that really makes me mad, what I do is I just say whatever I want to say and then never return. Because it's not an argument if I just say what I want to say and then you just never hear from me again. Like then that guy inevitably starts arguing, but he's arguing to the wind because I'm not there. I'm not there. I don't read his comments. I say nothing. I just back away, So that's my way of skirting. I've done that maybe like 5 or 6 times to some people. So like, but then, it was a bad year to make, don't get into Facebook arguments, your resolution. So I was supposed to go to Japan this year too. And that got,
oh man, I would love to go to Japan.
Yeah. We had this planned for months and, we were going in March, tickets bought, everything. And then March was probably the worst time. Like we were supposed to fly out like the day that all of America shut down, essentially.
Oh man, that sucks.
So it's all right. When we got all our money back, it took a while, but like, no Japan trip.
Are you like an anime guy? Are you a Japanese culture guy?
My girlfriend is huge, I wouldn't say she's huge, but she likes anime a lot. I don't at all. I actually don't like it. I don't like I don't like anime. I never have. It's tried to be pushed on me like by so many people since I was a kid, and I've never liked it. Even as a kid, I couldn't get into it.
Have you tried Naruto? No, I'm sure you heard that many times.
Everyone has said that. My girlfriend is currently forcing me to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I don't think is Netflix? An anime. Not really an anime.
No, that's an anime, so the Americanized anime.
Yeah, it's just a kind of a cartoon.
Yeah.
But I like that. I think she thinks it's going to be kind of, yeah. So I like it. She's made me watch all of a lot of Miyazaki films. I don't like any of them.
Really?
Yeah, I can't get into them.
Even Studio Ghibli?
Yeah, they're too.
None of it?
Yeah. I don't think I've never been an animation guy. I started watching horror movies when I was like 6. And I just think I just passed over the animation thing. Like when I should have been watching animation, I was watching like Freddy Krueger. And
oh God.
So I never I like 5 cartoons. I like Scooby-Doo, Garfield and Friends, Hong Kong Phooey, Um, yeah, The Simpsons, and yeah,
South
that's
Park.
about. No, I've actually never even watched South Park.
You never watched South Park?
Not watched a single episode. Not one episode.
Like on purpose?
Okay, so how old are you guys?
32.
32.
Okay. Cool. You guys are just a little bit younger than me. So when South Park became popular, I was in 7th grade, right? And I feel like every kid I hated loved South Park. And I was just like, whatever this asshole likes, it must be bad. This kid is a moron. He's just walking around doing Cartman impersonations, talking about cheesy boobs. And I just couldn't get over it. And then since then, obviously all my friends are just like, no, dude, like the first 5 seasons are terrible. They stop talking about cheesy poofs. Like you need to like actually watch it. It's a brilliant cartoon, and I've never done it. I can't do it. How do you start it?
Huh?
Should I start it? It's like season 6.
South Park?
Is that what is everyone right? Like, should I just start it at season 6?
You should just play roulette and just click on a random episode.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in order. You can press on any one you want.
Really?
I mean, they release one every year. And they try to stay like close to what's happening during the year and make fun of it. So I mean, either last few years have been good because they've been focused on a lot of stuff, and it's more relatable to us anyway because it's modern, it's now, so it's gonna be funnier.
Yeah.
But there are some highlights from the early seasons too that are really good.
Yeah, I mean, I have South Park on what I call the broken leg list, which means if I ever break my leg and I have to just watch some like TV for like 2 months, it'll be on that list. But that's good to know that I don't have to just like watch it in order. I can just be like, randomize it.
Yeah. A lot of times, I mean, they might be like a part 1, part 2 to an episode or something, but most of the time is just pick up and watch whenever you want.
It's funny that we're talking about animation because actually I did just like seal a deal to produce an animated film.
Well, so let's make sure they don't see this video or listen to this podcast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he will. Yeah, for sure. They'll be like, "Look, I don't care what discount you can give me." Yeah, no, it wasn't supposed. That's the funny thing is that the director and writer, he brought me the script and we prepped for a couple months, like that it was going to be like a live action narrative film, and then all of a sudden he had this epiphany about like part of it was COVID related and part of it was just like, hey, this movie's going to cost us like $50,000 to make live action. Instead of spending that, why don't we just spend that same amount of money or maybe a little bit less, make it animated, and we could potentially get like real actors to voice, like for that money.
Yeah.
Like we could get real actors to voice this rather than have live action and not be able to afford real actors. So that was, I thought, really intriguing. So then then became my animation production career. I was never expecting it. So yeah, I told him flat out, I said, I don't know anything about animation, but I'm here, but like, let's do this. So we're prepping that. That's probably going to be a next year project as well, though.
Did you, what was the first thing you would do? Try to find an actual company that...
Well, he has animation background. He has an animation background, the director.
Yeah.
But he also has live action background too. So I think he just kind of, he has people in mind to work on that end. I think my role is going to be just kind of facilitating like milestones and timelines and like getting talent secured and stuff. We're aiming for like some pretty good actors like Nathan Fillion and and Bruce Campbell. So like we're trying to get like real actors, because we figure we can't get Bruce Campbell for like to come to like show up on set for a day. Like that's probably out of our
it's gonna be too much fun just to get him there.
Yeah, but to get Bruce Campbell to go into a recording booth for 4 hours,
yeah,
that's reasonable. So like that's kind of where we're aiming right now. It's called Ghost Chicken, by the way.
Ghost Chicken.
Ghost Chicken.
I'm sold.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy about a girl who goes to a vegan restaurant, and she sees the ghost of a chicken at the vegan restaurant. So
Is it a feature?
It's a short.
It's a short. Okay.
Yeah, it's a short. So yeah, that's funny. Yeah, but yeah, I hope that he doesn't watch this, because then I won't be producing it, a cartoon anymore. So.
Oh man.
Anything else that you want to like bring up to the open that I hate or that I haven't seen? You guys want to talk? You guys, I haven't seen Breaking Bad. That's a show I haven't watched.
No.
Haven't seen it.
That was on purpose?
Not on
Some
purpose.
people refuse to watch it. I don't know why.
Not on purpose. It's just it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, not on purpose.
Is there something on a brick leg list, or is it a?
It might be earlier than that type list, but like I also waited on Game of Thrones as well. So it's like I think I kind of like to wait until shows are over until I get like
watch them all together.
Yeah. So I waited on Game of Thrones as well. So
see, the problem with that now, like if you decide to watch Game of Thrones now or after it ended, I'm sure there's no way around spoilers. You've seen some people talk about it. You've seen posts, memes. So kind of ruins kind of the experience when you know, oh, season 8, it's actually bad. The other seasons are good. So you know it's going to be a bad ending and it's going to ruin a lot of or not make it as good as, you know what I mean, watching the middle of it. Would that, I think that would be a thing? If Breaking Bad, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I know nothing about Breaking Bad. I had watched, I got to season 8 of Game of Thrones and then watched the last season live with everyone else, my girlfriend and I.
Oh, that's good.
The only thing that I knew, literally the only thing I knew was there's someone named Joffrey and he's an asshole. There's something called a red wedding, and when it happens, I'm gonna be really excited. And then there's a guy named Hodor, and everyone got sad. That's all I knew. Those are the only 3 things that I knew, was that like everyone was sad about something called a Hodor. And so I kind of assumed when I met Hodor, like, okay, I guess this guy's gonna die at some point. But yeah, so like, but yeah, I went in pretty lucky to like no context to the spoilers. I knew. So,
what are you, as far as the season 8 goes, what camp are you in? Are you the disappointed camp or the camp or great camp?
I'm definitely in the camp of I saw what they wanted to do. I don't know why they couldn't do like more episodes and make it more, make it a little bit more, make it a little deeper. I feel like it just felt rushed. I didn't hate what the choices were, but I did feel like it was rushed, and I didn't understand why they needed to. Like, they had all the money in the world. So I
think they decided to. That's it. We're done. And I heard rumors. I don't know how true they are, that HBO wanted them to do more episodes. They wanted them to keep doing it, and they basically decided 8th was the last season they want to do. They want to close it up so they can move on.
Yeah, but I would have been happier with just like 5 more episodes of that season. Right. I think it would have felt a lot more it would have felt a lot less rushed, a lot better paced. Just stretch out the season a little bit longer.
Yeah, well, it just some of the decisions that were made in the end, it just didn't. Honestly, it didn't make sense. It just felt out of character at that moment. Yeah. Like, it felt like it wasn't developed enough to be the decision to be made.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like they skipped like 3 episodes in the middle that should have been there to like make all these things like sell a little bit more to an audience.
Right.
And then it was just like, whoa, that's like that's something that's just coming way too fast. I get it. I don't hate it. I didn't hate many of them.
I don't think I did either. I didn't hate any of the episodes per se. Like it wasn't it didn't have the wow moment in the end.
Yeah.
I liked what it did with Jon Snow. I think it was fitting for his character. If he was predictably the king of the 7 kingdoms, that would just have been everybody was looking, seeing that that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did the right thing by him as far as the character goes. How he ended, but a lot of decisions that were made to get there just didn't feel like they know exactly where they wanted to go, but the way there, they took some shortcuts that they shouldn't have, which just made it come a little short storytelling wise. It just didn't. That's why a lot of people were upset. It just didn't make sense.
Completely agree.
Yeah. But visually it looked fucking stunning, man.
Yeah, some of those episodes
the battles,
were
oh my god, like it looked amazing. The dragons fighting in the air and shit, like it was from a filmmaking perspective, they knocked it out of the park as far as visual goes. But now it's gonna be attached to for the rest of their lives, right?
Yeah. For sure. I mean, but I was also like a huge Lost fan, and I know that everyone hated the final, like
the ending
of Lost, and I couldn't disagree more. Like I loved the ending of Lost. I was like 1,000% in. I thought that was exactly what I wanted to me. So like I might be a little kind of I don't know. I might not be exactly the right person to start shit talking the end of shows, because I know I'm in the minority on that one. But I've heard Breaking Bad, the ending's great. So maybe
the ending is good. I think you're the first person that I know that likes the Lost ending.
Really?
I don't think I've ever met anybody else that likes it.
Wow, man, I could go off on that for a while. If you want to turn this to a Lost podcast, be my guest, because I could go off on that for a while.
Well, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the ending. I didn't love the ending, but I didn't hate it. I think when I was watching it, I think it lost steam the last 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't. They weren't as solid as the first 2 for me anyway. But I didn't hate it. I still watched until the end, and it wasn't amazing ending, but it was an acceptable ending for me.
Well, the thing that I think a lot of people really wanted out of Lost was they wanted answers to the questions.
Yeah.
But I never really cared about the mystery. I cared about the characters.
Yeah.
And so when they didn't answer the questions, I honestly wasn't that like annoyed. I could see why people were, but I wasn't that annoyed. I was more just like, I was invested in the characters and their arcs. And I felt like the characters had arcs in that show. I felt like they gave a lot of those characters like true endings and true like climaxes to each of their individual arcs. And yes, they didn't answer the questions and the mysteries on the island. Did they know the answers? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think they even thought about that.
But did I care? No, I didn't. I cared more about the fact that they gave like Jin and Sun like an ending, and less about like, well, what does that mean? So that was my opinion. I think the only person who got like the short end was John Locke, though. I thought John Locke didn't really get a good ending on that show. He kind of got a little bit of a shaft. But I could go off on Lost forever. We can change the subject on that one.
You mentioned that you started watching horror movies when you were 6.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 6-year-old right now. What's some horror movies that you could recall that I could show my 6-year-old that won't completely fuck her up for life?
Yeah. The first thing that I would start with is Monster Squad.
Oh yeah,
I think Monster Squad is a great like entry point into horror.
Mm-hmm.
But then also I would also say that I really loved anything that had kind of kids in it.
Yeah.
Because then that gives you like that. I think that will give your kid like a point of view character. So I really enjoyed The Gate when I was a kid. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar. It's like kind of like a 2 boys like kind of discover like a gate
thing in the ground, right?
Yeah. And I think that's definitely like a kid's horror movie.
Yeah, definitely.
and it's got cool special effects and stuff, and they might think it's fun. Yeah, I would just, and also like there's no nudity in either of those movies, so you could like, you don't have to worry about her like seeing something she shouldn't see like sexually, which is good.
Right.
But I mean, I think that they're both, they're both like pretty good for a kid to watch. Yeah, I would stay away from the slasher films then, probably.
Yeah.
But that's what I was watching. I was watching like Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I was too, actually.
Yeah.
I was into all that.
I think the first horror movie I watched was Exorcist was the first one.
Oh my God!
By accident.
That's a tough movie for a kid to watch. I remember trying to watch that as a kid.
I think I was about 6 or 7 years old when I watched that.
Yeah.
And it gave me nightmares for a while. I didn't say I did. I didn't tell my parents I did have nightmares, because if I did, I wouldn't be able to watch any other horror movies for a while. So I just stuck it out. I had nightmares every day for weeks. But it was good. Yeah. I mean, I still have those moments in my head where the first time I've seen it, and it's a great memory.
What's funny is I never got nightmares when I watched stuff as a kid, but then but as an adult, I've had a couple horror movies give me nightmares, which is like, what the hell is happening?
They're just catching up with you now.
Yeah, like I'm a grown ass man who's like spooked by like a demon, like that shit. Yeah, so I know that if like I don't have kids, so like if I had kids, that's probably where I would start. It's probably something like the Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Because there's kids in that movie. I think it's fun, and like the special effects are great. So yeah, it's something like that. But also like I think I might have had it lucky because I was still able to watch movies, like horror movies, on TV, which means that they're edited.
Right.
Which means that like even if I was cool with watching like anything that was actually in the movie, I was not getting all of that stuff. And like now you don't have movies on TV anymore, so like kids are not going to ever be able to watch an edited version and like kind of get a watered down spooky movie, which I think is a good way to introduce kids into horror, like the watered down version. But that doesn't exist anymore. Now you have uncut, like director's cut Blu-rays, like and that's it. So yeah, they need to bring. I think they should bring that back.
I think kids have more tolerance now, right, for watching stuff like this.
Yeah.
The social media videos all over the place with YouTube and all those jump scare videos and stuff you see on social media. Like even kids are more tolerant to watching stuff like that now.
Yeah, for sure. Did you say what's my favorite?
Yeah, what's your favorite horror film?
The Thing.
Oh, okay, the original, right?
Yeah, nice. For sure. That's my favorite horror film.
Did you see the new one?
I did. I thought that the remake was pretty good. I didn't like the special effects because they kind of half-assed it and did like half CG, like half practical. But no, I love The Thing. I think it's an amazing bottle film with fantastic acting. And it's so dread-inducing and it's so like claustrophobic. The special effects have never been like rivaled. I think that's the best practical effects movie ever. I love that film. I could watch it 1,000,000 times.
I'm on the other end for the best film. Mine has whimsical special effects in it. Peter Jackson's Dead Alive. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
They had like the off-colored blood and shit that looked like yogurt and shit.
Yeah. I love that film.
Yeah, it's
saw that way too young as well.
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
Yeah.
I don't think I have an actual favorite for a horror movie.
Really?
I've never even thought about it, really. But I haven't watched anything horror in a while either, so that doesn't, my memories for that is kind of weird. But last one I watched is Hereditary, I think it's called, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a great
That surprised the hell out of me because last ones that I've watched, they just didn't have, like, they lost the spark. Like, there are a lot of horror movies that are using the same formula that doesn't feel unique or or different. You just watch one and watch all of them basically. That sort of. But I think that one just surprised the hell out of me. I didn't see that coming.
Did you see his other movie?
Suspense. Huh?
Did you see his other film, Midsummer?
Which one?
Midsummer.
Midsummer? No.
Oh, you should see Midsummer. It's better than Hereditary. It's the
Is
same.
Is it the one with the cult?
Yep.
Okay, I saw the previews for it and a poster and stuff, but I didn't actually watch it.
It's the same. So it's the same filmmakers. Ari Aster. He's the same filmmaker. Hereditary, amazing. I think Midsummer's even better. It's the I like it. It terrified me because it's a very like it's very, very like I wouldn't say anti-men, but it's like a very like pro-woman film. And like the men do not get like, it's a bad time for boys in that movie. So like that movie really fucked me up. But every woman I know loves it, which they should, because it's like amazing and it's so pro woman, which is great because there needs to be more movies like that. There needs to be more movies that scare the shit out of guys and to be like better to their women.
You saying American Pie didn't scare you, man? Come on, man.
Yeah, but yeah, you should check out Midsummer. That's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah. No, I'm always I feel like I'm always like ranking my like horror films, but the thing is like never moved from the top. Like if you ask me like my top 5, I'm gonna like give you a different answer like every week, but like that number 1 is never gonna change. I really love Insidious. I think that's a great film. Anything by James Wan, I love.
I'm a big Conjuring fan.
I think he's amazing with a camera. Also, he's reinvented the horror genre twice.
Isn't Insidious the one with the little girl there?
No.
Was it a little kid?
There is a little kid. The kid falls into a coma, and a demon is trying to get his soul while he's in a coma. And I mean, I love James Wan. I think the guy he's a brilliant with the camera, but he's also reinvented the horror genre twice. Like he invented torture porn with Saw, and then he made Saw, and then everyone else was like, let's make torture films. And then he was just like, yuck, let me do something that's totally different. And then I think he started the supernatural craze that everyone does, like The Conjuring and Insidious. Like I'm waiting for he's got another one coming up, and I feel like he's going to reinvent it again. I think he's a genius.
He's not the one who's doing Saw, the next one, right?
No, he's not doing that. But he did do Aquaman, which I loved.
Yeah, Aquaman was great. I loved
Aquaman. I like that you would enjoy that too.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, he's great. I think he's gorgeous with the camera though. So anything by James Wan, I love. I'm definitely not one of those guys that's like, if it came out after like 1992, I don't like it. Like I like 70s, 80s, 90s. I like horror from every like decade. I feel like if you can't, the people that can't find like the joy in modern horror films become a little bit elitist and like closed off to like new films.
Yeah, I'm like that. I mean, in a way, I'm still like that. Like if I see a horror movie trailer, I usually don't get excited to watch it unless some of them I actually do, but not as much as I used to. Like I used to watch horror movies a lot, and I just feel like now the formula has been used so many times that it's getting outdated. You know what I mean? But
well, you're right. But those classics they're still gonna happen.
Yeah.
And they're gonna sneak up, and they're gonna be those movies that no one ever thought are gonna everyone hated the thing when it came out. It bombed, and everyone hated it. Like no one liked the movie. It had terrible reviews, and it completely bombed. And now it's considered one of the greatest horror films ever. Like so, like those movies are gonna happen. Like I do think Hereditary and Midsummer are going to be some of those movies that like 25, 30 years from now, people are still talking about. So you found a good one by randomly watching Hereditary. Like,
yeah, I mean,
film.
I think I saw somebody on Facebook, like one of my friends say how good it was. And one night I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I'm in the mood for something horror, so I just going through, and I read the description of the film, like I'll just try it out. So I just put it on, and I really enjoyed the hell out of it from start to finish. Very tense, which usually it takes a while for me to get into stuff like that, the modern ones anyway. But it was beautifully acted. I think that's what a lot of horror movies lack. Unfortunately, the acting does not match the intensity of the actual script, and it throws everything off for me because I don't believe the actor. If I don't believe the actor, then it's not immersive for me. But they really killed it. All the actors did an amazing job for that film.
Agreed.
Yeah, man. Thank you for stopping by, man. It's been a great conversation having here.
No, I'm
amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad that you asked me to come on. You know, like I always love talking movies. I love talking, but more importantly, I love talking about like making movies.
Yeah.
Because like I do this for a living because I love it. I love making movies. I love being creative. I love making things come to life. So if you guys, anyone who's listening, if you're looking to kind of just like, if you want to drop me an email and say, hey, I've got this problem, what do I do? Like, I was gonna say, all conversations are free. Like I work with a guy who said that to me once, and like I realized like that's a great like line to have. Like like if you want to hire me, it costs money, but all conversations are free. So like
I might steal that from you, man.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so so because I want to be able to help people make their movies, and obviously like I can't be everywhere at the same time. So like it's good to be able to kind of lend a hand and advise with a problem, and then just kind of let someone else do it. So where you can first best place is just like drop me an email, honestly. Like my email is it's Brandon at and then this is my company, Simpatico Media, so it's Brandon@simpatico.media. But also you can find me on Facebook, Brandon Lescure. I'm sure my name is going to be on this. Just find me on Facebook, add me on Facebook, send me a message. I'm not the best at Facebook Messenger, but like I'm way better at email. But like I definitely will answer your questions, and we can set up like a phone call or something. If you have a problem, you're trying to make a movie, or you want to become a producer, you don't know how, you want to hire a producer, you don't know how, you're looking to try to do your first like SAG actor like movie, and you don't know how. Like you're looking to put together a budget, you don't know how. Like, reach out, man. I'm always here. Like, not enough good producers in the world, so like I'm here to help anyone. All the good producers are in Morocco. They're all stealing everyone's money. So
should we attach the 40% off for this?
Yeah, maybe.
The coupon, if you are gonna shoot in.
There will be a coupon. I should print a coupon.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it coming over. We'll definitely need to do this more, man. There's a lot of conversation we can have about this.
Good, man. I'd love it anytime.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Yeah, take care.